What's up, guys? It's Dadbot here once again with some more Bloodborne for you. So, as many of you know, I have a full Bloodborne walkthrough that goes through the whole game backwards and forwards, except for one small tidbit, and that is there are 2 trophies in the game that are exclusive to the Chalice Dungeons, meaning you have to play through some portion of the Chalice Dungeons to get those 2 trophies, and I just did not want to leave my walkthrough incomplete in any which way, so I'm going to cover those portions of the Chalice Dungeons that are required for the trophies. So there are 2 ways of going about this. There's the short way and the long way. In this video, I'm going to cover the short way, and this way skips a lot of the busy work, and you skip arguably what is the hardest Chalice Dungeon, in my opinion, otherwise known as the Defiled Chalice. So this way gets you through much quicker and gets you everything you need for those last 2 trophies. So in order to do it this way, you actually have to play online. So you're going to need a PS Plus account. So we're going to start online, and I'm going to walk you through everything on how to do it this way. The setup, just how I have my character built, a nice quick way for you to level up if you need to do any sort of leveling before you embark on the Chalice Dungeons, and then we're going to get right to it and how we can do it what I call the quick way. So all that being said, here we are in the Hunter's Dream, and I'm going to show you just how my character is set up. I'm at level 200. That is, you could say, overkill for what we're about to do, but at the same time, some of the bosses that we're going to face are quite difficult, so it will come in handy to be at this level. If you are not level 200, do not fret. One thing I wanted to point out is that I'm actually a New Game Plus. One thing about the Chalice Dungeons and the way they get to the Chalice Dungeons is via these headstones here, and we're going to get into that in just a little bit. The thing about the Chalice Dungeons is unlike the rest of the game, including the DLC, the Chalice Dungeons do not scale up in difficulty on New Game Plus. So you can be in New Game Plus 7, and the Chalice Dungeons are not going to be any harder than they were in base New Game. So one thing I wanted to point out, for just in terms of preparation, is if you want to level up, I'm going to show you the quickest and easiest way to level up in the entire game. And again, this requires you to be online, because what we need to do here is we need to search by Chalice glyph, and the only way to do that is if you are online. This option, the Chalice Dungeon search and the search by Chalice glyph, those options are going to be grayed out unless you're playing online. So that's why I say you need to play online to do this, because we are going to be using Chalice glyphs in order to do the quick method. So I'm going to show you my leveling up method, and to do that, you go to search by Chalice glyph, and you need to enter in glyph C, U, then 3 M's, M, 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 F, P, K. And so I know that sounds very weird, but what's happening here is that the Chalice Dungeons, I mean, there are, you know, I think theoretically infinite permutations of the Chalice Dungeon. So these glyphs allow you to warp to a specific version of a Chalice Dungeon that someone else stumbled upon somehow. I know I'm probably saying that incorrectly. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the gist of it. Is that this dungeon was discovered by, or in some way or another created by, another player, and based on that, you can warp to that exact form of the dungeon by entering in that exact glyph code. So normally what the Chalice Dungeons require is that you go through a section of, you know, sequential dungeons one after another. And it requires a bit of farming for items, and it requires a lot of time and some very difficult bosses along the way. But what we're going to do now to get these trophies is we're going to warp to these dungeons via the glyphs that people have made that basically fulfill the requirements to get these trophies. So the reason why we're in this dungeon first is because if you go to this specific dungeon, walk forward, look here, you see that this enemy is taking damage. And this enemy dies automatically every single time. And look, we just got 83,000 blood echoes just for doing nothing. So you can do that, use a bold hunter's mark, and you can warp right back to the beginning, and you can rinse and repeat over and over and over again. And if you want to get even more blood echoes for doing nothing, basically just repeating this over and over again, if you equip the 3 moon runes, you're going to get even more blood echoes just by repeating this over and over. I think each loop you get over 100,000 blood echoes. So you get the point. you're going to be able to level up very quickly by following this method. And so, as I said, I'm at level 200, and if you feel like you're under-leveled for what we're about to do, you can easily just do this several times over and over and over again until you get to whatever level you want to be at. A little bit cheesy, but it's there for the taking if you want to take it. So that is just a little tip. So what we're going to need to do now is we're actually going to need to start the easiest chalices, because you get an item in one of those chalices that allows you to use other glyphs that we're going to use to warp to some chalices that have the required things that we need for the other trophies. So what we're going to do now is we're going to perform a chalice ritual. So this is using, I guess, one of the main, I guess, designed chalices that were included in the game that you get by virtue of using one of the chalices that you get from beating some of the bosses in the game. So if you remember, if you beat the Blood-Starved Beast, you get the Pthumeru chalice. That's where we're headed. To do this ritual, you need the Pthumeru chalice, which again you get from defeating the Blood-Starved Beast. You need 2 Tier 1 ritual bloods, which you get in the big cathedral right before fighting the Blood-Starved Beast. I cover that in my walkthrough. And you need 1,000 blood echoes. So assuming you have these items and the echoes, you can perform the ritual. And so you will basically create this dungeon for you to explore, so to speak. And this dungeon will be exactly the same for everybody. It was designed by the developers of this game, and it's the same exact thing for everybody whenever you create the dungeon using that Pthumeru chalice. Now, if you do not have the ritual blood ones, you can simply go here and you can buy some ritual blood ones for 2,500 blood echoes a piece. So pretty cheap. So if you don't have them, you can easily get them and do this. So this is where it starts. So this is if you're doing it the what I would call the long way, this is the first chalice that you're going to have to do the long way. So I will say this is the first one, and the chalices do get progressively more difficult as you go through them. So this one, especially if you're at level 200 like I am, this is going to be a breeze. You are going to one-shot just about everything, nearly even including the bosses, and I'm not kidding. I mean, the first chalice is super easy, and as I said, they get much harder as we progress, and we'll find out soon. Now, my goal is to cover this whole method in one video, so I think we can pull it off, and hopefully we'll be able to get there in one video. So just follow these steps, and you will be able to get your remaining 2 trophies to unlock the Platinum trophy that you need by doing this, and it'll probably take you maybe a little bit more than an hour to do the whole thing. The first time I did all of the Chalice Dungeons, it took me roughly, I want to say probably 10 hours. And that's because the Chalice Dungeons, the further you go into them, you require more and more materials. You find the materials in each of the different dungeons, but it requires a lot of exploration. And the dungeons do get repetitive over time. You see, I just one-shot that guy. They do get repetitive, and it's just not a whole lot of fun if you're just grinding for all the different mats that you need to unlock all the various challenges. I rolled through that guy's knife that he throws because he can knock you off the bridge, just to be careful about those swinging axes. And then once you're on the other side here, you'll see that there's a Bell Maiden up there, and she's summoning these grody-looking guys. So just kill the Bell Maiden, and it'll take those guys away. And this guy was not summoned by the Bell Maiden. So they still live. But so what we're doing now is at the top of these stairs, you see there's this guy blocking the switch here. The top of these stairs, there's this switch you can pull, and this switch unlocks the door to the boss. So so for example, this particular Chalice Dungeon that we're in has 3 layers. We're in layer 1. So each layer has a boss, and the boss is behind a locked door. So we just pull the lever to unlock that door to the boss. And then once we beat that boss, we go to layer 2. And then once you beat that boss, you go to layer 3. And then once you beat the layer 3 boss, you get the next chalice that you need to unlock to continue on your adventure if you're doing things a long way. And, to the extent that you want to, feel free to explore and look around and do whatever the heck you want to do. I mean, there's plenty of places you can go. There's lots of loot in here. Most of it's probably stuff you don't really need. But again, if you're doing things a long way, you're going to have to get a lot of the loot because you're going to get the materials that you need to unlock the next dungeon. But so there are lots of side paths and you can explore them to your heart's content, but that's not really the purpose of this video. So we're gonna just carry on to the boss door. So we'll know that this is the boss door because of these lanterns that are in front of it. Right now they're glowing blue because we have unlocked the door. They glow a different color if you have not unlocked the door, but since we've unlocked it, we can go on straight through here, and you can see. Well, there's not one here, but in some cases, after you go past the boss door, you can see in some cases doors off to the side that have extra paths and extra stuff for you to explore. But in this case, there isn't one here. It's just straight to the boss door. So let's go on and fight the boss of this first Chalice Dungeon. And this is the Undead Giant. So one thing about the Chalice Dungeons is they contain bosses that are not in the base game. And you can see I'm just wrecking him here because we are way over leveled for this Chalice. But that's okay. And so we have defeated the first boss, and there's a lantern here that we don't need to light. And then past the boss fog gate, we get to this elevator, which takes us down to the second layer, which is kind of, as I said, it's you sort of rinse and repeat. Each layer has its own set of rooms and its own set of enemies and its own set of challenges and its own boss. And we just have to go through the second layer here because there is an item that we get after defeating the second layer boss that allows us to do what we're going to do next. So yes, this chalice is very easy. If you go through it the normal way, as I say, they get progressively harder the further you get into the Chalice Dungeons. And as I said, this is the first of many. But what we're going to do is once we get this item that we need in this chalice, we actually are going to warp straight to the last chalice in this sequence. And you'll see that this last chalice that we're going to get to is substantially more difficult than what we're dealing with right now. So the way I think the developers designed it is that, as I said, you get this chalice after defeating the blood-starved beast. And so this is meant to be, undertaken, relatively early to mid-game type levels. But as you know, we are very much late game levels. So I'd say the first chalice is meant for, early to mid-game levels. The second chalice, definitely mid-game levels. And then the third one, definitely late game levels. I would say the fourth chalice is designed more for late game to post game levels even. And then I'm actually just gonna get this guy and this guy. And then we use a Bold Hunter's Mark to warp back to the beginning. And then the final chalice is meant for basically new game plus-ish and above type levels. So that is why this seems so easy at this point in time. But as I say, do not be deceived. So we're going to go straight to the boss door here. Right up these steps. And we're going to fight the second boss. And yet again, there's no side path. But I think, and especially in some of the later dungeons, you're going to see those side paths. Actually, oh, you know what? It's because I used the Bold Hunter's Mark and I didn't light the lantern. That's what it was. I was really confused. I was like, wait a minute, why am I back here? Yeah, because I warped back to the last lantern that I lit, and that was actually in the first layer. So now I'm traversing back to the second layer here. So one thing that I normally do that I neglected to do at this point in time is I light the first lantern in the area, so that way when I use a Bold Hunter's Mark, I go back to this lantern instead of the previous one that I just went back to. But no worries. Let's see. The boss door is over here, and we are going to go through here. Perfect. Because when I do things the long way, I light more of the lanterns because I use a lot of Bold Hunter's Marks to warp back and make things go by quicker. So here's the second boss. All right, so there's actually 3 of them, the Watchers. They are super easy, though, because we are pretty souped up. You can see with one charge attack, I almost one-shot that guy. And there's 3 of them. And that one I did one-shot with the charge attack. And this one's got a gun. There we go. And that's that. Really nothing else to it. So When we beat this boss, you see we get the Pthumeru Root Chalice. That's what we need to do what we're going to do next, is the Root Chalice. Unless you have that Root Chalice, you're not going to be able to enter the glyphs that we need to enter. And so we're going down to layer 3, but we're actually going to stop now because we did get that Root Chalice. And my lantern is going to be in the next room. And so one thing about the Chalice Dungeons, if you're going to do them normally, is they are very repetitive. You see each layer that we're going to has kind of the similar look and feel. And then all of the Pthumeru chalices have the same similar look and feel. The difference is they're going to have different enemies. They're going to get harder the further into it you go. If you were to beat the layer 3 boss, we'd get the next chalice to unlock for via the normal route. And then you just kind of progress that way, and it does get a little bit repetitive. So that being said, since we have our Root Chalice, we can do a search by glyph. And then we are going to use glyph 3AQBYX95. And so this, what it does is it unlocks a dungeon that mimics the last chalice that you would go to if you went through this sequence normally. Because for the trophy, you need to defeat Queen Yharnam, who is the layer 3 boss of this last chalice. So you're going to notice a substantial spike in difficulty, compared to the last chalice that we were just in, because this is technically supposed to be, some would say, the hardest one. And so just be prepared. The enemies are going to be hard. The bosses are going to be quite tough, and it just is what it is. But as I said, for that trophy, we need to beat Queen Yharnam, and that's for one of the two. And then we'll get to the other one in just a bit. So I am going to do another series as well that takes you through, I guess, what you would call the traditional route through the Chalice Dungeons. And you can see here, before we even get to this door up here, there's a door off to the side. And you could go through here and explore. There's going to be loot and, stuff like that. You're welcome to dive into this to your heart's content. But as I said, the purpose of this video is just to get through this as quickly as possible for you to get your trophies. And as I said, yes, I'm going to cover the traditional route through the Chalice Dungeons that takes you through all the ones that you'd have to normally go through if you're not playing online and using these glyphs. So I'm going to release those videos as well. So if you'd rather do it that way, some would say it's a bit more fun. It's definitely more challenging, but it's a lot more work. So anyway, so let's go through here. And so we're going to take an immediate right. And I'm not even going to bother with these enemies. There's going to be a trap right here. Whoops, I should have been running there. If you're running, you're going to dodge the trap. There's also another button right here. Watch out for that. That's going to make this guy shoot arrows at you. So be aware of those traps. You see these guys are not quite as easy. But anyway, you'll see a significant difference in how hard the bosses are. So you're going to turn left here. Open up this door. And in this room, you're going to want to cut over here. Be aware of the trap right there. And there's kind of like, if you remember in Cainhurst Castle, there are these kind of maidens that pop up out of nowhere and try to stab you. So just be aware of those. They are in this room. So at the top of this ladder, we're going to go through the bridge. And directly across the bridge, we're going to go through this door right here. Oh, see? Yeah, there's one. So we need to go around this area. And we're going to take the second door on the left. And then go down these stairs. And you can kill this guy if you want to. He is technically in the way. And you see he hits way harder than the equivalent guy in the first Chalice. He is parryable if your timing is better than mine is. There we go. But I couldn't visceral him on the stairs, unfortunately, but I'll take him out this way. And so this is the lever to unlock the boss door. And then you can run back to where we were. I prefer just use a bold hunter's mark. It's a little bit quicker that way. And I do believe I actually unlocked a lantern this time, so I should go back to the proper lantern. Here we go. And then the boss door is just going to be right over here. So the boss door is usually almost always at the very beginning of the layer. And as I alluded to before, you know, there are, before the boss door proper, you know, some of these have doors off to the side here that you can go through. So this boss that we're going to fight, he's called the Pthumerian Descendant. He is a boss that is exclusive to the Chalice Dungeon, so you have not seen him before. My method of beating him is using parries and viscerals. He is very quick. I'm going to try to show off his moveset to the best that I can. He's very quick. He's very deadly. He has short range and long range attacks. So just be on guard. I'm going to try to show you to the best of my ability which of his attacks are the easiest to punish. I'm going to pop on some fire paper here. So there's one where he kind of sticks his hand out first, and then he winds up. So when he sticks his hand out, that's kind of your cue that you're gonna you're about to shoot your gun. I want to see he stuck his hand out right there, and then he wound up. I was a little bit late there, but I still got the parry. That is the easiest one to punish by far. So you want to wait for him to stick his hand out. You don't want to shoot when he's sticking his hand out. You want to wait till he pulls his weapon above his head. And as I said, he is very quick, and he has ridiculous combos. He does have 2 phases. So this move that I'm showing you to parry in his first phase does not, that was the move right there, does not exist, and he can throw his weapons at you too, does not exist in his second phase. So the second phase is a bit more challenging just because of that. But, you know, once by the time he gets to his second phase, he shouldn't have that much health left. So you can parry some of his other attacks too. It just requires a bit better timing. But the one that I showed you is by far the easiest one to parry. And if you can just dodge around his combos, you can get hits in every now and then. Just don't run out of blood vials. So yeah, whoop. I'm hoping to bait his... see, look at those combos. I mean, he just wails on you to his heart's content, basically. So it is good to keep your distance. And, you know, if you see that he's... you can get stuck behind these pillars too. If you see that he's not going to do the one that you want to do, you just kind of got it. There he goes. There it is. And that was the one I was looking for, and I shot my gun too early. So I'm going to heal up. I'm going to re-up my fire paper. And these other attacks you can parry, but the timing is quite difficult. Dang it, I was too early that time too. The timing is quite a bit difficult because you have to, his movements are so quick that you have to really anticipate, and it's easier said than done, unfortunately. All right, there it is. And I did it, you know, I got the parry, but I still did it a little bit late because if you do it on time, you won't get hit. But fortunately, in doing the visceral attack, we recover our health anyways. So, oh, there's a second form. I was hoping to have his HP down a bit more. So I kind of wail on him right when he transforms, and this is going to be a bit more difficult because, you know, he's got more health than I'd like for him to have. But, man, his combos are just ridiculous. Ooh, I'm almost dead, man. There we go. Got a parry. So you just have to anticipate his movements because you can't... If he's already in the middle of his combo, you're not going to be able to stun him. But if you can kind of anticipate the first shot, usually if your timing is right, you can get a parry. Okay. Oh, man, I thought I backed up in time for that. Okay. Ooh, this could be... All right, stop doing your long-range attacks, man. I thought that would have been a... I'm stuck. You look at that. You get caught in one of those combos, you're dead. All right, last blood vial. All right, I need a parry in the worst way right now. I'm dead. It's all good. I feel good about getting in my second try because I've already shown you the moves, so I can just kind of get into it and concentrate a little bit better in this go round. But he is tough. At my first time through the chalices, that boss had to have killed me 10 times. I can't overstate the fact that he is a difficult boss. But he is definitely doable if once you kind of get in the groove and figure him out. So we'll get him this time. And hopefully I'll do a little bit better on my my parries here. So there it is. And I did do it a little bit late, but I still get my health recovery from doing the visceral. And you can, as I said, if you anticipate his attacks, you can get parries on other attacks too. So, see if I can get him to do that. There it is. See, yeah, you can. Once you wait for his hand to be pulled back and for him to raise his weapon, and then you can, as I just showed there, you can get the. Oh, he's already transforming. Dang it! So when he is in the middle of his animation of transforming, I try to get hits in. But as I showed, you can definitely get the parries in without taking a hit if you do it correctly. So the main thing is you don't want to get cornered, which is easier said than done because these pillars will get you stuck. I did get the... Oh, yes, I got the visceral. Okay, good. All right, so he's almost dead. I should be able to get him here. And that one you can pretty easily parry, so... As I said, parries and visceral attacks are the way to go with this guy. And don't be discouraged if you get hung up on him. He is a tough boss. All right, so I'm not going to light this lantern. I'm going to actually light the one. Let me get to the bottom here. All right. So we are at layer 2. And we will light this lantern. And sometimes when I pull the switch, sometimes it's easier or quicker just to take the death, and that'll warp you back too. Or you can use a bold hunter's mark, whichever one you choose. So you see here's an example of the boss door being locked. They're lit purple instead of blue. So go up these stairs, beware there's a boulder trap. So hang out here in the side, wait for the boulder to go down. And then you can kill this guy who tried to run you over. Okay, so we're gonna go through this door here. And up here, I'm actually going to use a blue elixir. Let's see. I'm going to put it on my hotbar here, because you're going to have to run past a lot of enemies to do this. So you drop down right off this opening there on the ledge up there. And you need to run through here, and the lever is going to be in the back. And you see a bunch of guys in here. So you pull the lever, and if you're savvy enough, which I'm not, you can, if you have the blue elixir on, you can maybe go back there and use it. I'm just going to run over here and use it. And because I have the blue elixir, they didn't follow me. And so that's all you have to do. So we've unlocked the boss door, so we're going to go straight to the boss. This boss is another one that is not in the main game. It's called a Bloodletting Beast. He is formidable. I maybe should refill my blood vials. I'm going to chance it because he is tough. He's got a lot of HP. He hits really hard. I maybe should have all my blood vials. If I don't, well, we'll have to do it again. But anyway, we don't lose much time, though, because we respawn practically right at the boss gate. So this is the Bloodletting Beast. It's actually the headless variety of the Bloodletting Beast. So that attack that he does when he hunches over like that, he actually shoots these projectiles out of his back that cause rapid poison. So whenever you see that, you're going to want to kind of run to your right around him because they won't hit behind the boss. You see that I'm dodging through his attacks and really just going for his legs. His swipes are big, and, you know, it's not foolproof, but they are relatively easy to dodge. I'm going to get back here and heal up real quick. And then he can also stomp with his feet, so watch out for that too. See, there's his foot stomp, and I was in the middle of attack, so I did not dodge appropriately. And so I kind of fight this guy a little bit sloppily. I just try to get in and get my hits in, and then I just heal when I need to, which is probably not the best way of going about this, but... There's this attack where he shoots the things at you, so I run around to my right, get behind him, and whiff a few times because, you know, whiffing on the boss is always better than hitting the boss. One of my core strats is whiffing as much as possible. So that's what I do is, you know, kind of rinse, repeat. I go back, heal up. I'm going to redeploy my... Ooh, that was a bad dodge. I'm going to redeploy my fire paper and get hit some more because that's always fun. And anyway. So there's really no quote-unquote easy way to fight this guy. Just gotta kind of always be on the move. And his limbs are breakable. So you can break his arms and his legs if you hit him enough times. See there, I just broke his leg. Get a bunch of hits in if you break his limbs. There we go, broke his other leg. Bunch more hits in there, and he's mad. So eventually he's gonna transform into, so his second form is the worm comes out of his head. So it's like almost like Sekiro, or Sekiro's almost like this, I guess you could say. He's undead. He has a big worm coming out from his head. Oops, I actually wanted to run away from him so I could heal. And I'm gonna re-engage my fire paper here. So this boss, as you can see, is deadly if you're not paying attention. Even if you are paying attention, he can be deadly. I'm almost out of blood vials here. There we go. Got another limb break on him. Or no, that wasn't a limb break, unfortunately. Ah, come on. I've almost got him. I'm almost out of blood vials, but it's all good. And that one, that lunge is really hard to time. All right, I got one blood vial left, so better make this count. Oh, geez. All right, I'm gonna use that blood vial. Oh, hello. Can I get him? Don't. All right. I did not choke. I was afraid I was going to choke there at the end. Had exactly the right number of blood vials. So, okay, sweet. So we are going to carry on to layer 3, which contains the boss that we need to kill for the trophy. Now, I already have the trophy on this profile, so the trophy, unfortunately, is not going to pop when I kill the boss. But if you do not already have the trophy, it will pop when you kill the boss. So, again, another door off to the side here. Again, we're in this video, we are getting down to business. We're not messing around here. So I'm actually going to warp back to the dream so I can refill my blood vials and my bullets. And then we're going to hop right back here where we left off and proceed. So, as I said, I think this recording is roughly about 30 minutes at this point. If we were going to follow the traditional way through the Chalice Dungeons, the same thing would take us probably 3 hours to do if we're going relatively quick. So it is much faster and much easier and much less of a headache, quite frankly, to do it this way. All right, so we are at layer 3. So through this door, we're going to drop down this hole, and there's a tunnel right here that we're going to go through. Might be a good idea to use to pop a blue elixir right here. So we need to go all the way to the back of this room. And there's a bunch of guys in here, which is why I use that blue elixir. So they're leaving me alone. I'm gonna go up this ladder, and then down this bridge. I'm gonna go ahead and kill this guy just because he's in the way. Then up these steps. Pull the lever. And so you can see, even in just this short video that we're doing, you can see how repetitive these dungeons are. And so that's, the dungeons are the Chalice Dungeons are a bit divisive. Some people really like them. I'm kind of indifferent towards them. I'm not a huge fan of them myself. But they are what they are, and you have to at least entertain the idea of the Chalice Dungeons if you want the platinum trophy. So, all right, here we are at the boss door, and We're about to have some fun. So this boss that we're about to fight is Queen Yharnam. And there are some things about this fight. This fight's not particularly hard as long as you know how to approach it. It is not foolproof. I very well could die. So I'm going to lock on. You do not want to take any more than 3 swings once you get to her, if she lets you get to her. 1, 2, 3. Up. See, well, the reason why you don't want to take more than 3 is because you hear that baby crying. That baby is actually Murgo, who is her baby. And you know, if you're familiar with Bloodborne lore, Murgo plays a large role in the story, or is an important character, so to speak, indirectly. And so you hear him crying, and if you overstay your welcome right next to Queen Yharnam, you'll get stunned like I did just at the beginning. So once you hear the baby crying, that's kind of your cue. You need to get away. So I heard him crying, so I just took 2 shots there. So you can see that her attack is doing rapid poison. It might even be a good idea for you to have antidotes handy in case you do want to get rid of that buildup. 1, 2, 3. She's about to transform, and I could not get behind her, unfortunately, to do a charge attack, but oh well. So she's a bit more aggressive. She still has Murgo. You still hear that baby crying, so you want to be cognizant of that. You don't want to overstay your welcome. So she'll summon her clones, and you can shoot with the Quicksilver bullet, and if it disappears right away, it's a clone. The clone can hurt you, but if you damage the clone, you're not going to do damage to the boss. So always a good idea to get rid of the clones. So I think this is the real one, yeah. So we're doing damage, and I was almost... Can I get a... no, I didn't get far enough behind her. So this is her kind of final form. She is parryable with this weapon. So you can get a parry and a visceral attack. And she has some nasty attacks with this thing. That's a kind of a telekinesis sort of deal. She has a lot of these like projectile type attacks that if you're not careful will do a number on you. So I was trying to get a visceral there, but failed. So she's got her clones back, so I'm going to try to dispose of her. Oh, that's the real one. Ugh. So you see her clones there are kind of being a nuisance. We've almost got her, though. All right, that's the real one. I'm going to get this clone so she doesn't surprise me later. Whoops. There we go. Ah. Oh, I got rapid poison. So I need to heal up. Ah. Almost got her, though. So she is a force to be reckoned with. She is no pushover. Got rid of her clones there. All right, see if I can get a visceral on her. That would be fantastic. Nope. There we go. Oh, but dang it. I got stunned by Murgo. I couldn't capitalize. That makes me really sad. All right, clones again. As I said, the easiest way to get rid of them is just to use bullets. All right, a couple more hits should do it. Ah. I'm trying to get her to attack me so I can stun her, but... Is this the real one? Yeah. Ah, got stunned. So definitely a sloppy fight, but ended up victorious in the end. So you can make as I showed, you can make a lot of mistakes with this fight and still win. So here is where you would get your trophy for beating Queen Yharnam if you did not already have the trophy. And so that is the end of the Chalice Dungeon here. As I said, it takes much longer to get all the way over here if you're doing things kind of the traditional way. So we are going to warp out because if you do not yet have all the trophies, there's still one more that we need that is also within the Chalice Dungeons. So because we've beat Queen Yharnam, we can go here and we can purchase Ritual Blood 4. So this is not this tier of Ritual Blood is not available for purchase until after you beat that Chalice Dungeon that we just beat. You beat Queen Yharnam. We're going to need 9 of them for what we're about to do. So hopefully you have some blood echoes to spare. If not, you can use the method that I used at the beginning of the episode to get some quick blood echoes. And what we're going to need to do now is we're going to need to unlock another chalice. And this involves the, it's a chalice ritual. And this involves the chalice that we got from defeating Amygdala. So for this ritual, we need 5,500 blood echoes, 9 ritual blood force, which is bought, and we need 4 cold blood flower buds. So these can be found in the main game, but if you don't have enough of them, you can always go here to the Insight shop, and you can buy them for. I have 3 of them. You need 4. You can buy them for 2 Insight a pop. So I'm going to get my 4th one right here. And then we will have enough to do this ritual. So the materials that we need can easily be obtained. Again, the ritual blood floor is not available until after you defeat Queen Yharnam, which is why I saved this part for now, as opposed to doing it earlier. So we're going to need to use the Ailing Loran chalice. And we now have all of the materials that we need to perform the ritual. And so we need to go in here because the item that we need is in this chalice. So if you followed my walkthrough, you should have all but 2 trophies. Well, one of them we just got by beating Queen Yharnam. The other one that you're missing is the all weapons trophy. And the reason for that is because the last weapon that you need for the all weapons trophy is in this Ailing Loran chalice. In fact, it's in the second layer of the Ailing Loran chalice. So we have to get through the first layer first. And then in the second layer, we'll be able to find what we're looking for. Okay. So, in here, you could, if you want to use a elixir. So we're going to go up this ladder. And then through here. And then we're going to go down the stairs. And this enemy that's blocking the lever is a bit different than the other ones we're used to seeing. But partially because we're in a different chalice. I think some of these may be in the Pthumeru ones as well. Did he forget about me already? No, he did. So he attacks in quick succession. He's very fast, but doesn't have much poise. All right, so going to use a Bold Hunter's Mark. We could very easily just go back the way we came, drop down that ladder, and, we'll be back there. I think it is a little bit quicker to use the Bold Hunter's Mark. So now, you know what's next. Straight to the boss door. And we are going to fight what is called a beast-possessed soul. Not too bad, not too challenging. He is parryable, so I am going to take advantage of that. I'm going to put some bowl paper on. Oh. So you see, that was a... His parry window is relatively generous, so... Oh. Trying to fire attack me. See, yeah, he's got a fairly generous parry window. And I think he technically does have a second phase. Some of his attacks change. Yeah, he's trying to get into his second phase here, but... Uh-oh. Oh, I almost died there. A little bit too greedy. It's all good, though. I was trying just to knock him out there, but didn't quite work out the way I hoped it would. You can also parry him in his second phase. A little bit late there. Oh. Grab attack. I could kill him pretty easily. I am just trying to get a parry to see if I can show you the window in a second phase. All right. Grab attack again. Maybe I will forego the second phase parry. I've done it before, but doesn't quite seem to be working out for me right now. There we go. Just wanted to show you guys the timing. Okay. So this is the only boss we're gonna have to kill in the Ailing Loran Chalice, because in the next layer we get our weapon, which is the Beast Claw, and that is going to be the last weapon that you need for the All Weapons trophy, and if you followed my walkthrough thus far, to your Platinum trophy. Okay, so to get the Beast Claw, we actually need to go through this door before the lantern, right off to the side here. And so you see there's a bunch of rats in here. Mike could use a blue elixir, could come in handy. I'll go ahead and use one. Why not? I've got enough of them. So you go all the way in the back. There's a tunnel past here. And then we're going to come across a ladder. Go up this ladder. Then we got this little doorway here. Go across the bridge. Forget what this is. It's Ritual Blood 4, which we don't need anymore. And through here, we have a treasure room, which if you're exploring the Chalice Dungeons thoroughly, you're going to come across a lot of these treasure rooms. In fact, it's going to be, a lot of these treasure rooms are going to be where you're going to get the materials to get to the next dungeon that you're trying to get to if you're going through them sequentially, the normal way. We didn't really have to do much of that. But in this chest right here, we open it up. I guess technically it's a coffin. And right in here, we get the Beast Claw. So, if you have all the other weapons, if you followed my walkthrough, you should have them all. And you just got this one. You should get the All Weapons trophy right now. And if you have all the other trophies, you should be getting your Platinum trophy right now. So, that is the gist of it. That is the quick way to go through the chalices and to get the remaining 2 trophies that you need. As I said, much quicker, much more painless than the traditional route. Much less frustration and much less kind of repetitive navigating through these dungeons. So if you just got your Platinum trophy, congratulations, and thank you so much for watching this guide. As I said, I'm going to put together another video, or it will actually be a series of videos that's going to take you through the traditional route through the chalices. So it's going to start, with that first chalice that we did, go all the way through it, and then go all the way through sequentially the next chalices, getting all the materials that we need to unlock all the chalices in order, and go about it that way for those of you who might want the full experience. So don't want to leave you guys high and dry too if you want to go through the whole ordeal. So all that being said, that's going to conclude this video. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this was very helpful for you. And hope to see you guys in future videos as well. So join the squad, subscribe to the channel, leave a like and a comment. Let me know if you found this helpful. Let me know what you would like to see more of or anything like that. And I love to read y'all's comments and interact with you guys. So Anyways, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.